Hello everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. Dungeons and Dragons, a game of high fantasy, exploration, and wonder, a world of magic and endless possibility. However, there exists another world in D&D, a world of darkness, demons, and things that go bump in the night. That's why in today's video we're breaking down 7 of the scariest monsters in all of D&D. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. With much of our content, this 7 is just my opinion, so if you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. Let's jump right into it. Number 7, Boneless. An old school monster and a unique take on traditional zombies, created using necromantic magic from a corpse whose bones have been scripted. Boneless are walking, killing machines for their undead lords. A walking husk of flesh, aesthetically, the Boneless is nightmare fuel, as its body wavers unnaturally due to the lack of bones. Possibly the most horrifying feature of the Boneless is its crushing embrace, where the creature wraps itself around its target, blinding and suffocating it in a very Legend of Zelda Re-Dead-esque way. Definitely not a creature you want to find yourself alone with in an alley. I love this old school take on zombies. It's absolutely horrifying and nightmare fuel. Number 6, Chain Devils. The torturers of the 9 hells, Chain Devils delight in inflicting pain on their victims. So much so they wear their means of torture, the chains, around themselves at all times. Tasked with punishing the souls of mortals, it is said the Chain Devil would pursue their target in a manner that would provoke the most fear. When pushed into a fight, the Chain Devil animates its chains on its body, causing them to strike out at their target, slashing them and restraining them in place. It's safe to say you're in big trouble if a Chain Devil has been sent to capture you. Number 5, the Rakshasa. Not just a fun name to say, the Rakshasa is one of the most horrifying creatures your D&D character could run into. A humanoid form with the head of a tiger and those horrifying backward thumbs, the Rakshasa are a master of disguise and sorcery. Using their ability to shapeshift at will, most Rakshasa will only reveal their true form if they intend on killing you. A powerful sorcerer with a lust for power and status, the Rakshasa uses its greatest magic and prowess in deception to manipulate mortals into serving its own ends. The Rakshasa has a lust for power and status, and thus will often dress itself in the finest of clothing regardless of the form that it takes. Possibly the scariest thing about the Rakshasa, besides those horrifying hands, is its magical immunity, rendering all spells under level 6 useless on it. You wouldn't want your wizard to find themselves alone with this nightmare fuel, now would you? Number 4, the Oni. Inspired from Japanese mythology, Onis in D&D are hulking demonic ogres with pale blue skin, a cunning mind, and a taste for humanoid flesh. All of these things combined for a horrifying experience, as the Oni will often stalk its target, waiting for the right time to strike, taking advantage of its ability to cast invisibility, as well as shapeshift, often taking the forms of its victims after murdering them and eating them to cover its tracks. Possibly then the most horrifying feature of the Oni is its intelligence combined with its tool of deception, and its hard-hitting glaive. Rarely will the Oni face a party head-on, rather preferring to lure party members alone or into a false sense of security. Like the Rakshasa, the Oni could be hiding in plain sight, taking the forms of its victims as it continues on its killing spree. If you happen to find yourself in a new city, where a number of people have gone missing, and the new lord seems to be acting quite strange, maybe an Oni is not far away. Number 3, the Bagman. I mean, with a name like the Bagman, you know it's gonna be spooky. A Slenderman-esque monster referenced as more of a rumor in the Guide of Van Richten. It's said the first Bagman was created when an adventurer on the run, having abandoned their party, desperate to survive, crawled inside their bag of holding, becoming trapped. It's said that as time passed, the interplanar magic transformed this adventurer into some monstrous-esque creature, capable of traversing through pocket dimensions. The Bagman then desperately searches for his way home, slipping out of random bags of holdings throughout the world. It's said if this creature doesn't find his home, he drags someone into the bag with him. Truly a creature of nightmare fuel, and one that will definitely give your party trust issues. Personally, I can't wait to torment my players with the Bagman. Number 2, the Oblex. Created by Mind Flayers, an Oblex was an incredibly intelligent ooze whose sole desire is to satisfy its never-ending hunger by feeding on the memories and personalities of its victims. They would do so by engulfing the creature in its oozy body, over time draining its victims of its memories, knowledge, and abilities. If an affected victim somehow survived, they would oftentimes lose large portions of their memories and even their skills and abilities. The skilled locksmith now finds himself heavy of hand. The gifted swordsman no more than a boy with a piece of metal. If gab gone from your bard, left is a socially awkward, scared little gnome. Even more horrifying is the Oblex's ability to lure its victims in. You see, the creature can create identical copies of its victims from itself, as well as the language, voice, and memories of said victims. I don't know about you, but memory loss scares the absolute shit out of me, so safe to say I would be running away if I ever found myself face to face with an Oblex. Before we get to our first entry, there was a whole ton of creatures that I was going to put on this list, but the video was just going to be way too long, so we're going to give you a couple of honorable mentions. I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to end up making another 7 most scariest monsters of D&D video in the future. Honorable mentions: the Mind Flayer, the Intellect Devourer, the Gibbering Mouther, the Carrion Crawler, a Night Hag, Corpse Flower. That sounds like the name of a heavy metal band, honestly. Aboleth, and many, many more. Number 1, Beholder. In Dungeons & Dragons Classic, the Beholder is a large floating head with one single Cyclops-like eye, a toothy maw, and a number of smaller eye stalks. However, it's not their horrifying looks which make the Beholders absolute nightmare fuel. You see, Beholders are unfathomably intelligent, inherently magical, and equally xenophobic creatures. It's said the Beholder mind is split into 2 entities, each of these acting on its own accord, making for a paranoid relationship. The Beholder then views itself as the apex of existence, wanting nothing more than to gather knowledge and power by performing strange experiments on organic life. Obviously, besides the Beholder's vast intellect, its greatest weapon is its large central eye, which emits an anti-magic cone, rendering most spells and items absolutely useless. When combined with the series of rays emitting from the Beholder's eye stalks, killing one of these maniacal creatures is no easy feat. There's a reason why this floating orb of madness is one of the most renowned and feared creatures in all of D&D. If I haven't made it clear how absolutely freaky these things are, let this sink in. It's possible while sleeping for a Beholder to warp reality and spawn another fully grown Beholder instantly. What sort of fucked up Cthulhu shit is this? Personally, the Beholder is one of my favorite creatures to absolutely torment a party with over long periods of time. You can really make a whole entire campaign around the works of a Beholder, as they are an extremely intelligent being. And if you couldn't tell, I love intelligent, scary creatures. And that's it for the 7 scariest monsters in D&D. Let me know a few of your scariest monsters in the comments down below. There's obviously way more creatures we could have added to this list, so I'll probably do another one in the future. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our other D&D Critical Role and anime content, such as our Who Are the Prime Deities videos, and our Arms of the Betrayer Gods Explained video. As always, guys, I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace, love. Adieu.